What's going on, car family? I'm Ben Wayne, and today we're going to be looking at the 2016 Chevrolet Corvette Z06 convertible. The Corvette was originally introduced in 1953, and the name comes from a maneuverable class of warships called the Corvette. This Z06 is based off the current C7 generation, which is the 7th generation of the Corvette. It's the first Z06 to introduce the use of supercharging technology, and it's the most powerful production vehicle from General Motors today. So let's take a quick look at some of the exterior details and interior and see what this car is all about. Now, when it comes to designing a supercar like this one, aerodynamics is the name of the game. If you look closely, you'll see two ducts on either side of the center grille. These ducts are for brake cooling. And then you have your traditional radiator grille in the center. Now, if you come up to the hood, you'll see that there's some scoops here as well. Not only do they serve just to cool the engine, they also channel air from the radiator and then up over the hood and then over the windshield, which provides additional downforce. One of the key differences between the Z06 Coupe and the Z06 convertible is the fact that the Z06 Coupe has two large vents on the side haunches here. Now, they would be for your differential cooler and your transmission cooler. They take in 50% more air than the traditional Stingray. But since this is a convertible, these vents have been located towards the underbody. Coming towards the back of the car, Chevrolet has incorporated the use of a spoiler and a wicker bill at the trailing edge. Now, what a wicker bill does is increase positive pressure on the pressure side and decreases pressure on the suction side. Now, had this car had the Z07 package, this wicker bill could add up to 300 pounds of additional downforce. One of the factors that sets the Z06 Corvette apart from the rest of the traditional Stingrays is that the front and rear have been widened by 56 millimeters and 80 millimeters respectively for enhanced handling and a more aggressive stance. Now, to compensate for that additional width, the taillights have been moved out from the center by 3 inches. Now, what makes the Z06 such an excellent handling supercar is the fact that it has a 50-50 weight distribution between the front and the rear. It also has standard magnetic ride control, which can adjust every 10 to 15 milliseconds depending on road conditions. Let's take a look at the wheel setup. In the front, you have a 19-inch wheel with a 14.6-inch brake rotor. In the rear, you have a 20-inch wheel with a 14.4-inch brake rotor. Now, what's cool about the brake pads is that they incorporate the use of springs for thermal expansion. So when you take this car out on race day and the brake rotors heat up, the brake calipers will actually spread apart to account for that thermal expansion. Now, let me give you a quick demonstration on how the soft top operates. I'm going to start the car and raise and lower it for you. What's cool about the Z06 is that no additional reinforcements were required because this car was originally designed to be a convertible. The top can be raised and lowered at speeds of up to 30 miles per hour and is stored behind a body color tonneau cover behind the seats. It's composed of thick premium cloth with additional sound deadening. Let's talk a little bit about the interior of this C7 Z06. The interior of the new C7s are leaps and bounds of the interiors from previous generation Corvettes. Coming over to the door panel, you have soft black leather, contrast red stitching, more contrast red leather here, your controls for your unlock and lock positions, memory settings for 2 people, and your power side windows. Coming over to the steering wheel, it has a race-inspired flat bottom with a nice carbon fiber inlay. It's 3-spoke multi-function, and on the back you have a paddle on the left to shift down and a paddle on the right to shift up. This car is the automatic transmission as opposed to the 7-speed manual. Let's talk a little bit about the dash and the center console. The top of the dash is covered in red and black leather and has red stitching going all the way across. You have an air conditioning vent here and your button for your hazards. Here's your infotainment system. Now, what's cool about this infotainment system is that there's storage hidden behind it. Just press this button, it drops down, you have storage here and a USB port. Coming further down, you have your controls for your air conditioning and fan speed. And here is your transmission control. This particular Z06 is fitted with the 8-speed automatic as opposed to the 7-speed manual. And moving further down, you actually have aluminum here, which is really nice. It's premium materials all throughout the cockpit of this car. Here's a switch for your different driving modes, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit more detail later. Let's talk a little bit about the different driving modes of the Z06. There's a weather mode which distributes appropriate power to the rear wheels. You have an eco mode, which allows for greater efficiency through cylinder deactivation. The car will act as a 4-cylinder when a V8 power is not needed. You have touring mode, which is for everyday driving. And you have sport mode, which the throttle becomes a little bit more audible and the magnetic ride damping is stiffened. And you have a track mode, which provides maximum responsiveness for steering. Let's take a look under the hood of this all-American supercar. Under the hood, you're going to find an LT4 all-aluminum 6.2-liter V8 producing 650 horsepower at 6,400 RPM and 650 pound-feet of torque at a low 3,600 RPM for a claimed 0 to 60 time of just 2.95 seconds. Now, what's cool about the Z06 is that it comes standard with a dry sump lubrication system, which means all vital components are lubricated during heavy track use. All right, now let's close the hood and hear how this Z06 sounds. That was a brief overview of the 2016 Chevrolet Z06. What an amazing supercar. I would like to thank you for watching this video, and please be sure to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. The Mercedes-Benz GLE 63 Coupe features all-wheel drive. It has a torque split with 40% of the power going to the front wheels and 60% of the power going to the rear. Coming down, you have 22-inch AMG cross-spoke alloy wheels with 15.4-inch brake rotors that are internally ventilated with 6-piston calipers in the front, and you have 13.6-inch brake rotors in the back with a single piston sliding caliper.